Will my ex find someone else during no contact? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video, but first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by hitting that thumbs up button to tell the YouTube algorithm that, hey, these videos are pretty cool and that you should show them to more people who might like them. It does help us out, really, so thank you very much for hitting that thumbs up button. And also, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe while you're down there below as well, too. Also, I wanted to let you know that we do have a Facebook group, a free Facebook group. It's kind of on the newer side, so, if you want to check it out, if you're on Facebook and you want to kind of see what other people that watch these videos are up to. Sometimes I post things in there too. I'm a busy guy. I can't be in there all the time, but I do post things in there when there's something to share. Go ahead and check it out. There's a link to it down in the description box below there, if I can get my hand right. It's always kind of like backwards on these cameras. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the topic of this video. So, when you're considering doing no contact, there are a lot of hesitations, concerns, and worries that you might have. I get it. I've done no contact before. I remember reading about it on an internet forum back in 2003. The forum, in case you're wondering, is called Not Alone. I think it's still around. It was the last time I checked, maybe a couple years ago. It's not that I particularly recommend it, but, if you're interested in looking for some ancient thing from, almost 20 years ago at this point, there it is. But I remember getting ready to do no contact, reading about it, everyone telling me to do it. I had a lot of fears. I was worried that my ex would forget about me. I was worried that, she would get into a relationship with this guy named Tom that she was talking to, and that they'd fall in love and she'd never want to talk to me again. I totally remember all those feelings, all of that hesitation, all of the concern that I felt back then, and I totally get it. I totally get that there are a lot of reservations that you feel. I totally get that there's maybe that thin, maybe strained thread of communication that you have with your ex that might feel like it's the only thing keeping the two of you in each other's lives. And if you just give up on it, then, your ex is just going to drift off into some new life or something like that. And I want to talk about that. So, yeah, let's be honest here. I'm not going to, blow sunshine at you and say that your ex is not going to get into a rebound relationship, because it is possible. It's totally possible that they might get into a relationship with someone else if you use no contact, right? It's totally possible that could happen, regardless of whether or not you do no contact as well too. But I want you to not let that stop you from actually doing no contact if that's what you think that you need to do, okay? We've talked about this in our entire series on what we call active no contact. I'll put a link to that up there in a video card. I have a little bit of a different take on the no contact rule than maybe you've heard other coaches or other people on YouTube talk about. So if you're new to this channel, first of all, subscribe down below. But you may also want to check out that video series on active no contact, just so that you can understand maybe at least what my opinion is. You can choose whether or not you want to follow that or not. That's entirely up to you. But, it's what's worked for me. It's what's worked for my clients in the past. Might be useful for you. Anyway, you should be doing no contact if you think that you would benefit from it. Just sort of the Cliff's Notes version here. If being in contact with your ex is causing the two of you to move further apart from each other emotionally, something's not working. And we need to stop what's not working and, do no contact, take a step back, fix whatever isn't working, and then, consider getting back in contact with our ex after that point to see if, tweaking things a little bit has actually improved your ability to connect with them. If, on the other hand, you are in contact with your ex and it is bringing the two of you closer together, something's working. And, as they say, don't fix what ain't broken. So not everyone needs to do no contact. But if you are in the place where you're like, yeah, I need to do no contact, and you're worried that your ex is going to meet someone else, yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Your ex might meet someone else, but it's probably going to be a rebound relationship. Now, rebound relationships have a really poor track record for a lot of reasons. We've covered this many times in our video series on rebound relationships. I'll put a video link to that as well up there. But rebound relationships are basically someone who has not fully dealt with their emotions from a breakup. They've not fully experienced them, resolved them, and dealt with them, and they just kind of want to be in a new relationship just to, tick the box, just to say that they have gotten over their ex. I mean, they're not really over you, but, oftentimes people think that if they do what someone would do if they were over their ex, that it must mean that they're over their ex, but obviously it doesn't work that way. Just being in a relationship with someone else doesn't mean that you are over your ex. Tangent. Okay. But if your ex is in a rebound relationship, it's probably not going to be a super healthy dynamic. They don't have the complete emotional capacity that they ideally would if they're going to be in a fresh relationship with someone else, because they're still dealing with emotions from the breakup. To a certain extent, they're actually emotionally unavailable just due to the fact that they're still being bogged down by these emotions, whether they admit it or not. And also by definition, the person that they end up in that rebound relationship with is also a little bit emotionally unavailable as well too. Because, emotionally unavailable people tend to attract emotionally unavailable people. Generally speaking, emotionally available people can sense that someone else is emotionally unavailable and they say, hey, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to not date you and I'm going to date someone else who is emotionally available. They may not, it's not like emotionally available people say like, oh yeah, you're emotionally unavailable. Like maybe they do if they have done some, research and understanding about relationships and things like that. But usually it's just something doesn't feel right. This isn't for me. So just know that it's probably two emotionally unavailable people in a relationship with one another if your ex does end up meeting someone else while you're in no contact. And of course, rebound relationships are plagued with a lot of problems. Psychological displacement, getting in over your head, two emotionally unavailable people. When one or both of them start to actually become emotionally available, they start to realize all the cracks and all the differences and all the incompatibilities that they have with one another. And it can honestly be enough to drive that relationship apart, which is why rebound relationships have a pretty poor track record in general. So with all that being said, if you think you need to do no contact, do it, okay? Don't let the fear that your ex might meet someone else hold you back from doing no contact. Just go ahead and do it. I've seen so many people just come out of at least active no contact, what we recommend, as opposed to passive no contact. I've seen a lot of people come out of that in a much better place, and it allows them to connect with their ex in a much better way than if they had just, stayed in contact with their ex out of all of the fears and concerns and doubts that they might have had prior to that. If your ex does end up meeting someone else, just know that you're going to be in a much better place to connect with them emotionally on the other side of active no contact anyway. I can't make any promises for passive no contact, but on the other side of active no contact, you're going to be in a much better place to connect with your ex, and that's going to really outshine, most likely, any sort of emotionally unavailable connection that they might have with a rebound relationship or a rebound partner or anything like that. And so, again, your goal here isn't to just kind of isolate your ex from any other romantic prospects so that they have no choice but to be with you. That's a really scarcity-minded mindset, and I get it because, again, I've been there. I've had that mindset before in the past. It's also kind of a really depressing place to start a relationship from, to get back together with someone from. It's like, well, you ain't got any other options. Might as well get back together with little old me. Like that's not a great place to be in. What you want to do is you want to actually have the relationship that the two of you have be something that's so positive, so inspiring, so motivating, so uplifting and rewarding that they intentionally would choose to be with you over any number of other potential romantic prospects out there. It's not just like, hey, there's no one out there for you, so you might as well get together with me. That's not very inspiring. So again, if you need to do no contact, by all means, do no contact. It's probably going to be better for you in the long run. If you have, done that reflection and you say, yeah, I think I need to take a step back here, focus on how I'm bringing myself to interactions and, work through my own emotions as need be and all that stuff, and then we can go ahead and get back in contact. Do it, okay? Don't worry if your ex is going to meet someone else or anything like that, okay? So I hope this has helped you out. Once again, if you do like what we're doing here, hit that thumbs up button. You know it. And also subscribe to this channel, hitting that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you can get notifications when we upload new videos. And also, if you do want to check out that free Facebook group, there's a link to it down in the description below this video. But once again, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to learn more about rebound relationships, we do have this video series on rebounds over here. Or on the other hand, if you'd like to check out this auto-generated video from the YouTube algorithm, please go ahead and check it out over here. YouTube thinks you'd like it a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you in the next video.